Hi, I'm Green with Sacred Hearts SC, and I'm here today to talk to you about creating a journal. This journal I call Heart Transformation. It's a journal of self-love. Now, you'll be using this journal as you go through this process. And we're going to use this journal to do check-ins, to write down your intentions, to tie in your intentions with your art and your spiritual growth. So we're going to use it as a visual prop and proof of where you were at the beginning and where you are at any point in time during the program. So you can even use it to do daily, daily queries with your guides and angels, if you like. You can pull a card and say, what do I need to know for today? Those kind of things, do prompts. So this is yours. This journal is yours. You can use it however you want. But I do ask that you treat it as a sacred tool. You treat it as a sacred tool, and you love it, and it'll love you back. Showing you all the pieces that are beautiful, these beautiful pieces of yourself that are you and that are true. It's gonna be like a gauge that you can, look back at yourself at the beginning and then see the transition to the changes that you're making for yourself and, from your heart. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and begin. In your email, you would have received something that's going to tell you all of the supplies that you're going to need. Here, you can't see it all, but there's several things, pens, this is the first time I did this kind of video, but the paints, I really don't want you to go out and get a whole bunch of stuff. Make this as simple as possible. Craft paints, magic markers, simple things. If you have kids that were in school, surely you have little glue sticks. If you're an art person, you'll have some Delusion sprays, some distress inks, any artsy craft stuff, kid stuff. I have some little kid stickers my nieces had. I like to incorporate tastes and smells, and this is a little piece of Dove chocolate. I love chocolate. Masking tape is a requirement, but today I used all my masking tape. Here's some Scotch tape. I use Mod Podge sometimes. Some of the things that are required, I use white gesso for the pages because it does keep, because this is the main thing you need is this, the little marble composition books. You can get them for like 50 cents from Walmart. You can get them from the Dollar Tree, the dollar store, the little composition books. And because the pages are so thin, we're going to be, you're going to be gluing two of the pages together. But the gesso, some people say, when you paint the pages, if you're going to just be using pen, it's okay, you don't need the gesso. But if you're going to paint them, you're going to need the gesso to make sure the paint doesn't go through. Okay? So, some cardstock. This is 20 pound. 20 pounds. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do, now that we have the paper together, right before we put the cover on, we're going to write down anything that we're concerned about, or we want to release at this point. And we're going to put that on the inside piece. Okay? And we're going to do this with our non-dominant hand. And we're going to write this. I call it backwards, okay? So instead of the way that we normally write, left to right, we're going to write right to left with your non-dominant hand. So I'm a right-handed person. I'm going to write it with my left hand. This is going to seem really weird, but it's going to get us out of our head, okay? So right now, personally, I'm just going to do a little brain dump and just anything that I've been worrying about, because I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on right now, and to get that out of my head, because I'm working with you personally, I'm gonna just write down some things that have been on my mind, and so that I don't need to be concerned about finding some and worrying about some things. That's what I'm going to write about. So why don't you choose something that you don't want to be concerned about right now and start writing. So you're going to write around your edge of your inside book cover from right to left. I don't worry about where my next art show I already want to switch it will be. The universe will take care of it. For me. I will find a perfect place. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just write. Okay, I wrote a couple more things. Okay, when you finish with that, take your right hand, your dominant hand, and now you write a prayer of intention for anything you may want or anything that you may need. And you can write that around the edge and over your worries or your fears or whatever it was that you originally wrote. Okay? And with your amens, thank yous. Again, this is sacred work. Okay, so this is the inside cover. Nobody's going to see this. Okay, so we're done with that. So now you can just place your book on here. You've measured it. And because I didn't use masking tape, mine is not going to well there. And of course, if you're in a situation where you do not have your little cover, you could always, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning, you can always just write this stuff on your cover. You can paint over it. If you have some white paint, you can paint over your prayer and your, the first part, what you want to let go with your non-dominant hand. and put your prayer with your dominant hand, your hand that you usually write with, and just, you know, do your painting over it and cover it, because that is your stuff. And then we're going to do something else to the other part. Okay. So I wanted this to be as easy as possible. So whatever is easy for you. Okay. Because a lot of times if people don't have all of the materials, they won't do the process. And I want everybody to do the whole process. So don't let anything stop you from doing this. And like I said, the little composition book, if possible, please, 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 at least get that composition book, okay? So here we are. Let's fold this to the best of our ability, and let's get that in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I know there may be some bookmakers watching, so try to be gentle with me. I have a friend that does this all the time, and I hope she doesn't get to see this. Because she'd be probably screaming her head off. So just take those edges down. We can move on to the next piece. Okay. So we got those edges done. Now, I decided, I took out pinks and reds from my book. And I have a my ribbon stash. I have a burgundy-ish, a burgundy-ish, and I've got a lot of style magazines, and there's a magazine called She Magazine that's here in South Carolina. That's an all-women's magazine. I think I use, the only other magazine I'm subscribed to is like Essence magazine. So I got a bunch of magazines that I use the clippings for. So while you're waiting for me to do this tedious stuff, you can be getting you some, making you some stuff out. Okay, did I do this too tight? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Had to give it a little bit of room. Make sure you give it some room. Give it a little breathing room, so make sure you do that fold, that last, the second, before you close it up. There, it's tight. Okay. There we go. Okay. And of course, because I'm doing the video, I'm trying to going a little bit faster than I normally would, because I do this as a kind of like a little meditative practice. So forgive me. I didn't tape the bottom at all. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna make this one work. Okay. This is me making this work. All right. Okay. So now this is the journal. Okay. There. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces we're going to take a couple of these. I think these are letters. We're just going to use what is called intentional creativity. And I learned intentional creativity from a woman called Shallow Sophia. And she, this is about just kind of getting out of your own way. And we're gonna just throw some stuff on here. And I forgot to show you these. I went Mambi crazy once. These are Mambi kits. So if you are an artsy person and have some stuff laying around, these are some stencils. This is some Diana Wakely media stencils too. So I'm going to also use some of those. So we're gonna, the main thing I want is, can you use some of these? This is some hair stuff I swiped from my daughter. We're gonna use words. You can use pictures, you can use whatever you want. So we're gonna just grab some words that pop out at you. And just put these words randomly. And when I say randomly, you're just gonna throw them out and then start putting them down randomly. Because it's gonna make sense in a minute. Okay. So as we go all over our book, putting our words down, relaxing, meditating, not really thinking. And
Okay. Are you supposed to color this first?
They can do it however they want.
Well,
And that's
you
what I'm
tell
getting ready
me
to
that.
say. That's what I'm getting ready to say. Can.
Well, at least I know how to edit the damn video for you. Okay, go on.
And another thing, as you saw on my other one, there was color. I actually used that She magazine that I was talking about was like an old style Life magazine. It was huge. I actually covered my book, my other book with the She magazine page. And, but what I wanted to show you is you can actually use color at any point. Because again, if you don't have a magazine, or if you didn't have cardstock or something, and you are using paint, you know, you painted a mandala, you know, you painted it white and then you painted a mandala on yours instead. So you're doing yours a little bit differently. I just want you to use your creativity. This is yours. This is your piece. So you can do it however you want to do it. And I had tons of these. I'm only using the orange right now. Actually have a blow dryer, but it's so loud that I'm not going to use it right now, because this ink will take its own sweet time to dry. And yeah, this is not going to stick because that's on there. Stencil, if you can see that, stencil will work that way. So this is the decorative part. Now, and then, so this is your decoration part, and we can just go on and on and on and on with the putting down of the pieces. And in a sense, this part is still very important, because when you get finished, the more you put down, the better it is in regards to the words. So, because it helps you to actually name your journal. Oops. Toward that one. You can tear this out any way you want. You can cut them. I like tearing mine. Can you show, please? Can you show what I'm doing?
I didn't get the time.
29 April.
That's definitely not the time.
Or 17.
Show what?
That's all right.
Show the book.
Yeah, but that's all right. If you move it, then it'll... Okay, and take a couple of these.
out of here. And the good thing about these, that I got these on sale, these are like normally $10, $12. And I think I got these for like $3 or $4 or something on clearance. And since this is our about HeART, I'm going to use this gorgeous little chipboard. Chipboard piece. And we're going to also decorate the back. But when we're doing this, we're going to always be sure that we bind something from across the spine of the book, because this connects the back to the front. We always want to make the connection when we're talking about the heart. And there's something about me tearing out these words that I always tear my words in half. And okay. I really wish I'd had a travel magazine. Those are especially good to add to our things, you know, places we want to go. So if you see that, anything you desire, put on your okay, I'm trying not to leave too much dead space in our video. This is my okay. Here we go. Here's a good one. Brave. That's beautiful. Sometimes you're lucky enough to find little statements instead of just words. these magazines have yummy smells in them too. As a matter of fact, I think I will take a piece of this product candy and put inside my book. Yummy. Product candy. Product candy. I like it. For our senses, the sensory part of me, I'm gonna just take this in the back of my book for the smell. If I can find my tape now. I remember to put that back up there. I'm just gonna tape that there for the smell. This is my candy paper that I'm gonna add to the front of my book for a taste. Actually, I'm gonna use this on the front. Make it a little raggedy. And there's a sentiment on it that says, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Caitlin W., Michigan. That's cute. I like it. Not sure if that's gonna stay on with Elmer's glue. Put a little Mod Podge on it. Mod Podge everything. Okay. I think that's gonna work. Okay, so if we're finished putting everything down, put as much as you like. Let's lay that stuff. Put everything in. Okay, that's as much as I'm gonna put. You can put as much as you want on the cover. So now that we've done the cover, and if you painted anything, if you use any acrylic paint, like I said, I've used, I do want some color on mine, which I'll go back and add. And when I'm finished with mine, I'll show you. But for time's sake, okay. It's the back of mine. Welcome to a new experience. Brave is beautiful. Glow. Make a splash. Boho spirit. Becoming. Got Panda Love down there at the bottom. My Dove chocolate. Put a denim pocket down there. The letter E. Q, love. I'm going to add some more stuff to this, but for time constraints, let's go on to the next part. Now, inside our journals, what we're going to do, first and foremost, of course, we know that paper comes from trees. Trees are in the forest. Animals are in the forest. So because this is going to be our spiritual tool, and we want to make this all our own. It's ours, right? So we want to touch each and every page. We want to go through this book and touch each page of this book, okay? So I'm going to pause this video, and I want you to go through your books. Well, actually, we're not going to do this right this moment, but I want you to pause, excuse me. When you're doing your book, I want you to go through, touch each and every page, and make this book your own, because you're going to be, your intention is to remove the energy of everything else, the factory people that made it, the forest, and put your energy into this book, okay? Each and every page, okay? Now, the next step is, we talked about the name of the book, which is, this journal is Heart Transformation. So, as you go through this process to start using this book, it's a journal. So the first thing that we're going to do, each week, at the beginning of each week, what we're going to do, and the reason it's called Heart Transformation, a Journey of Self-Love, is because you're going to, after you touch each one of the pages, what we're going to do is we're going to glue each, you're going to glue 2 pages together, okay, to make them sturdy. Only 2 pages. Every 2 pages you're going to do this, okay, just so they're sturdy for the ones that that you're going to be painting and drawing on. If you're just journaling, you don't have to glue the pages together. If you're going to be painting on a page, you're going to do this. And you're going to also have to gesso the pages, okay? So there are, oh my gosh, I've already covered it up. But, so for the heart page, we are going to be drawing a heart. And for those of you that don't want to use paint, if you just want to use a marker or a pen, you don't have to do that step either. But for those of you that are going to be painting, even the ones that are just using a marker or a pen, I encourage you to draw or doodle and to use, some words and paste, because this is about, that's why I use the word heart with the word AR, the letters ART capitalized. It's because when you're using art, it does help to bring you to a different space than just journaling. So I do encourage you to do that piece of it. I have here my colors that I wanted to be using. Okay, I used a dryer and I dried the sheets of paper. I put the gesso on there. So our first page is going to be our first heart page. So the gesso is already dry, and so the page is a little bit, these are 2 pages stuck together in comparison to the other page. That's the 2 pages stuck together. So the paint shouldn't go through this. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, this is going to be the first heart page, and we're going to draw a heart on this page, and this we're going to put how we feel at the start. How are you feeling today? You can use words, you can write the words in, you can pick words from newspaper. If you don't want to write them, you can pick them from a magazine. You can use a paintbrush, whatever you decide to use. And then, or you can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the word in. I'm going to use a marker actually to draw the heart, and then I'm going to paint it in. You can use a pen, you can use whatever you want to draw. This is a big nib, but let's try it and see what happens. So, oh yeah, my heart's funny looking today, so, but that's okay. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. I just judged it, but I don't want you to judge it. This is my heart. Okay, this is the heart for today. I'm not even sure what today's date is. But anyway, we're going to I'm feeling pink today. So make sure you date your paper when you get done. And I'm just gonna paint that in lightly. What am I feeling today? What is my heart telling me today? Where am I? What am I feeling at the start of this process? And be honest with yourself. Be accountable to yourself. We're accountable to so many people, you know. We have our families to take care of. We have car payments. We have house payments. But how often do we think about ourselves and take care of ourselves? What is it that you want? What is it that you want to do for you? So when we know how we feel, we know what that part of us that is that we need to take care of. What's nagging at you? Well, we're taught to not nag, but guess what? It's okay to nag sometime. Okay. I have my heart in there. Okay, today I am feeling and the process of going into our heart is the same as getting still. You know, you take a deep breath. You let it out through your mouth. And you imagine dropping down into your heart. That's like imagining a tiny you, setting the intention that that tiny you is actually going down into your heart space and sitting in your heart and asking the question, what is it that I need today? How am I feeling today? And I'm hearing, for me, is that I need rest. That's my self-care thing for today. So later today, I know that I may need to take a nap. Now, I work, so at some point today, I may need to take a nap. So I'm gonna write outside of this heart. Now, once this dries, I can go back and write in the heart and decorate my heart and fill in some stuff after this dries. I can decorate it, I can embellish it, I can add some glitter, I can take this distress ink and decorate around the pages, and this distress ink is like little blot stuff, which I love. But I'm gonna write the words rest and relaxation is needed. Accountability. And release. And another thought is that these words, you can also take these words and create pictures in the heart. So if you don't want to use the word, you can also make pictures of what these words represent to you. Okay? So the rest of the journal page after this, for your meetings or the activities that you'll be doing for the program for that date, because you can do this prior to your meeting as well in the following weeks. But always prior to your meetings, I would suggest that you do your heart to gauge, what you're feeling prior to that, so that, your stuff can be dry. And then you can use the rest of the pages behind it for that date to take your notes, or any activities, exercises, or whatever for that particular meeting can be behind that. And then you can also use that as a gauge afterwards. But that is the purpose of the journal. how to make the journal. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. My email address is sacredheartssc, that's SACREDHEARTSSC @gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was such a pleasure to spend this time with you. It was a pleasure to participate in this, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get some use out of this journal. I hope it was meaningful to you, and I hope you will use this as your sacred tool. And one other thing, if you are like me, or how I used to be, if you don't like white pages at all, and when it's time for you to draw something, one last thing, if you don't like white pages, when it's time for you to draw something, I want you to do this to the white page and always scrumple it up. And when it looks like this, there ain't nobody who's afraid to draw on it when it looks like this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. Send me an email. Give me some feedback. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Take care, everybody. Love.